So we're just going over each character one by one and give our reasons behind why we think they are in their specific positions. Also, there's just a heads up, as soon as Hunhun is finished. So what we're going to do is we're looking at this from a slam dunk position. So ranked at like kind of the highest rank that you can get in this game, and then you also need to be able to play your character to like pretty well proficiency in a sense. So it's not just like press a button, but you should know why you're pressing the button. So this is the kind of the premise that we set on how to look at each character. There's of course debate. I mean, we discussed, I think, roughly 2 hours. So first of all, both of us did one tier list separately, and then we compared and discussed why we think differently. You only see one problem with leg Sakuragi. Okay, I'm curious to know then. Hunhun, are you ready?
Mada
des.
I think now it's okay.
Okay, now it's okay.
I think it's okay.
Okay. So how should we start? Should we just tell our reasons each time for each character, or do we want to go separately and just add to the other one?
Question.
I think you should start with your Hanagata. I mean, you're playing it, so I can just add what I think from my perspective with playing with him. Maybe that's the best. Akashi, GG's. Nice games.
I mean, I think Hanagata, we really don't have to talk so much because it's obvious. I mean, he's literally, he can do everything in the match. First, his real job is to be a center, like getting the rebounds, blocks, but he's doing just way more than that. He can be like a decent scorer. He also has a nice pass, fake pass, everything. Like
also the screening.
It's like a complete player,
yeah,
in my opinion, and he deserves to be called or to be in the God level tier. So
yes, I think so too. You even have a screen which is like superior to the other centers. You're very fast, and your fucking fadeaway, where you make a double turn, it's so quick, so no center can kind of run other than Akagi maybe with a dash, or like Sakuragi in the sprint, or a strong forward helping you out. But a center can almost never catch you. So he's very hard to defend. Yeah, he's also tall. He gets really nice rebounds. Also a dunk in as a rebound skill. I mean, there's almost nothing that you can point out against this character. I would even say this guy needs to be nerfed, because they probably have to increase like the jam rate or the jam position that you can have an effect on him when he does his fadeaway. This guy's just strong.
I mean, he got like 3 or 4 times a
nerf in a row. Yes,
but still, he's an OP character. And
yeah, true.
He deserves to be the god of the game.
Yes, yes. I think he's like the best player in the game at the moment. Any other opinions? Otherwise, we just, I think, go through it, and every time someone said something, then we can go into the debate. Because next, of course, Maki. Like Maki is kind of new, so the second newest or the third newest character after Uozumi and Fuji. I think what really makes him strong is that he's in the same kind of position as Hanagata. He can almost as well do anything. He can steal, he can intercept, he's fast, he can very well block. He has super quick shots. He has a layup which is triple layered, which can also be in a fake layup. I mean, you need to have many people under the basket to even be able to block his drive to the basket. And if there are too many under the basket, you kind of clear your way for your shootings or for your 2 or 3 pointers. So it's very hard to solo defend this guy. You need to really know what you're doing, and even then it's hard. Also, like there can be, we even had games where he had like, I think 6 or 7 interceptions. That was of course the highest that we ever had, but I mean, come on, seven interceptions in one game, that's just kind of broken. So yeah, that's kind of like our second strongest character that we thought of, and that's where also we made the cutoff, because we discussed a lot about like, is Jin for us, is Leg Jin for us god tier or not? And I kind of debated, no, it's not. He is very, very, very strong. I mean, we're playing often with him because Hunhun is playing him, but we're also playing a lot often against him because we say like, yeah, let's try to keep him open. So why do we not think that he's this like deserving the same level as the other two? Main part is you can defend him. You can solo defend him and jam him. And you can get him to like a 30% or 35% hit rate, which is kind of like not that strong. His ultimates are good, but mainly if you are not paying attention as a defender. So if you focus really well as a defender, as a strong forward, for example, as Sendoh or something, you can defend even the best Jin in the game. So it's for sure possible to not let him score that easily. And then you kind of like are bound to your center. And that kind of makes it like why it's not god tier. Because if you have a good center and your center is kind of like at least on par or even stronger than the other center, Jin should never be able to shoot. I mean, he has a fake pass, yes. And he has a super good block. I mean, Hunhun can tell stories about that because he's blocking like a monster with him. But he's not that like versatile as the other two. The other two can do everything, and Jin is missing a little bit. You want to pitch in, or did I say anything that we?
No, I mean it was. I mean, I can just agree what you said. You know, first when I made the tier list for myself, I put him to the god tier. But you're true. I mean, it's true because you can defend him even alone. It's possible. For example, Hanagata and Maki, it's, I mean, impossible to defend him alone to them. But Jin, it's possible if you really take care. It's because you can at least give him a hard jam,
Yes.
and then you miss probably.
Yes.
So
yeah. We have like one comment. Depends on being blocked. Jam is not enough. No, I think jam is not enough. Jam is enough. If you always get his shots to red interference, he will, as I said, be like at 30% hit rate. And 30% as a 3-point shooter is not enough. Because if your 2-pointers shoot like at least 60 or 60 plus, that's better than a 3-pointer with 30%. So I would always prefer someone shooting a high percentage on 2s than someone shooting a low percentage on 3s. So I think you don't have to block him all the time. There are games when you block him like 5 times, okay, but the problem is Jin, like Jin is also having super long arms. So if you block him, it's not certain that you get the ball. Or if maybe a leg Sakuragi is kind of assisting him and gets all the floor balls, then blocking him is even the wrong move. You just have to jam him on red. And jamming him on red is not that hard. You can do it. You need to have a fast character, of course, otherwise it's not possible. And you need to really like be on your game. If you kind of like split second not pay attention, I mean, then it's an open 3. Also, like his step back has a huge range. It's like a really huge range. So you kind of have to really be on him. And of course, if you get ankle breaker, that's like your teammates kind of where he has to pitch in and just switch positions in that sense. But it's not like it happens, of course, but everyone gets an ankle breaker sometimes. and that's why we said no, it's not God tier. It's very like we even ranked him the highest of the S tiers, so it's like the third highest position that we have him. But I think he gets banned so often due to the fact that Hanagata is more rare for people than Jin. I think more people play Jin and have Jin than Hanagata. That's why I think, or we think, that Jin is getting more often banned than Hanagata. Otherwise, I would always ban Hanagata if my teammate would not be playing him. Okay, I will also take over the Akagi part, and then you can take over the next ones. And depend on yes, for sure. That's why we said on the premise we're playing on slam dunk against like good players or with good players. So if you're low elo, he's just a scoring machine. He probably hits like 60% plus 3 points, and then there's no way to beat him. For sure. You have to be really good in defending. If you play against a good Jin and your teammate on him is not playing good defense, you kind of lose almost per default. So that's why we're saying like the premise is everyone has to be good with the characters or know what they're doing defensively and offensively. Okay, Akagi. But thanks for the input. Always nice to discuss. So Akagi is for us the next best character, mainly due to his ultimate. His ultimate makes him a really good rebounder. He is also like pretty fast, and he also has a dash, so you can kind of get a lot of floor balls because you're fast enough to get into the position. And defensively, he just is a really, really, really good rebounder. So if you're playing with a shooter, for example, Jin and Akagi, I think they pair very well together. Because Jin has like a freedom of, I can shoot a little bit more often. And Akagi usually, or like, has a good chance to at least win the rebounds, like 60 to 40 or 70 to 40. And next, why he's also that high is he's offensively also pretty good. It's not like he's just a defensive monster, but offensively he's also really good. For me, I don't really like the alley-oops, but the backwards dunk where you just have your quick move to the side, to the left or to right. It has a huge distance. You can do that behind the basket, or you can do that to like kind of get close to the basket, so you don't have to stand that close to the basket. And it's a very fast move. You can, in the move, kind of see if your opponent reacts to the move or not. If he doesn't react to it, you can kind of make the points for free. And that's why I usually start off with like doing it twice to see if he jumps in the right timing. If he doesn't, I just say to Hunhun, I will score in the next one. And if he jumps on the right timing, you can kind of delay it and make a normal dunk afterwards. So you just like not directly press the dunk button, because the dunk button gives you the backwards dunk. You just do a normal dunk after you did it. So there's a slight delay. He jumps because he has to jump to defend on your backwards dunk, and then you wait that and then you dunk. So there's like depth to it, which I think almost no Akagi player does. Which makes it super interesting, because I think you can still learn him. He's still not fully thought through or fully known how to play him perfectly or like play him really well. Because I'm also like, for example, missing a little bit myself, that I'm doing the dash and the block, because there's also a skill with the dash block, which I don't use that often, or like I'm too slow a little bit on the button pressing. Of course, then you have if you're in your ultimate, you have like 4 different options with your dunk. So as soon as you're in that position and do that move, everyone knows you're going to score or you're getting blocked. But at least your teammates can position in a way to get the floor ball fast. So I think he's very well offensively. You're always like a good position to punish opponents or to punish centers if they're not good, which makes him really, really good. I love Akagi. Akagi's offense too, the best one in terms of insight. Yes, I think so too. I think so too. He's really good as a center. So if we like, mainly what Hunhun and I are always playing is either Jin Akagi or Fuji Akagi, or we're playing Hanagata Sendoh. These are kind of like our, or Hanagata Nobunaga, but that's not the greatest combination in terms of like synergies. But of course, what we didn't account for is synergies between characters. So this is not like, uh, okay, this guy has a very nice niche because if he is paired with character X, that makes him super good. This is not what we accounted for. We thought of it in a way that you have to universally be able to use him. So, for example, if someone slams an Akagi as a defender, you know, that's fine. I don't have to play a specific character to kind of fill the role or to kind of synergize with him because he's standalone a very good character. That's kind of also what we made as a premise. You have to just pick him without thinking of the other characters. That makes him even better. Okay, now we get probably a little bit of a discussion because earlier I said Lex Sakuragi. They're curious to know why we rank him so high, I guess, or so low. Who knows? Tell us.
I think, first of all, um, he and what makes him special is his speed. Um, I haven't played him so far because I'm still building him, but I haven't got the chance to play him. But what I saw of others, and I mean, he can do also everything on the pitch. Like once he blocks the shooting guard, he can still go and block the center. He has a really big range on the field. Also, when he blocks, he can instantly get the floor ball. If there's a player who plays him well, it's so hard to score because he's everywhere. And I was even thinking to put him at the beginning, like also in the God tier, because I think it's like impossible to score against him. And yeah, so because of that, he's in our S tier. From the offensive perspective, yes, he has I mean similar move like the Ultra Sakuragi.
Yes.
I mean, he can make the quick shot or like make a step back, step to the side. It's I think it's better than the Ultra one, but of course you can also jam it. But he has also different timings for the dunk. He can also make this dash forward and instantly, like, I mean, from the
Fly.
3-point line, like make a really dash forward and dunk it. So his offense is also not that bad, but I like his defense. And
Same.
yeah, it puts him like to this S tier in my opinion. Also for you.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I also like just like what Akagi doesn't like bring to the table is his this high speed. Of course, he's a little bit better as a defender because you know where to go. But Sakuragi can get like to any position in like split seconds. He's freaking fast, and if you know what you're doing with him defensively, you can really like, for example, your teammate plays against the Sendoh. The Sendoh goes to the fadeaway, goes to the dive. Your teammate jumps because he thought he will go, so he got kind of baited, and then he goes for the second fadeaway. You still have the speed to assist him and go for the second one and at least jam him. And then you're even fast enough to go normally for the rebound. So yeah, his defensive range is almost the full court.
Yeah.
Now I'm curious. Enlighten us. What is your opinion?
To use Red Sakuragi most of the time. Red Sakuragi means
Ultra? Question mark? Okay. The red state or the genius state. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
of
Okay. Okay.
course, yeah. True. I mean, I think the genius version is the better one because
Yes.
he can make really. He just runs and then
Yes, the
makes another
speed.
dash and then with double hands makes the block.
Yeah, the speed is the biggest part for him, or the biggest point for him. Okay, so you would rate him into God here, if I understood you correctly. No? Offense is not that good either. Yes, yes. Yeah, that's why kind of we said like, yeah, you also said like you're dependable on the teammates. Yes. Um, so that's why kind of like, yeah, it's if you play him, for example, really well, you should stand. For example, you have a teammate as a Sendoh, you know that he's going to fake layup, or you have someone who has like a fake pass. You should usually stand like at the very close perimeter to do middle shots, because there he's almost not able to be defended, and you're still fast enough to get to the offensive line. But usually it depends on how your teammates get you into the game. Yeah, it's a really good support. Of course, if you, for example, like we said earlier, if you play with a Jin and you kind of just support him and get him all the floor balls, and then go for the rebounds afterwards, that's also like a super good tactic. You see that often. Like Leg Sakuragi and Leg Jin are also combined a lot. So in general, I really like seeing Leg Sakuragi. I think he could be way better, but I think many people are not playing him to his full potential, because we just sometimes see one that's really good, but I think he can be such a strong pick. That's why we also decided that he has to, like, Hunhun has to build Sakuragi.
Because I'm doing it.
Because we also have like the problem that if one of us if I decide I first pick Sendoh, and the opponent picks Hanagata, and we have to play or he has to play a center, um, like Sendoh and Sakuragi are also really good together because of the fake layups. You try to become number one on the server, but I'm not that good at rebounding. Um, I think rebounding is in general like something you have to get the feeling for. It's like same like everything. What I like about this game is that it has a very high skill cap. So it's not like you go into the game and, yeah, okay, I know how to play it. Okay, you know how to play it, but you don't. You can have like thousands of games and you still don't know how to, or you still have like ways to improve your defense, your rebounding, your block box out, your block timing, your way of managing the offense, etc. But I think rebounding is very satisfying. Okay, next next is Leg Fuji. We were not sure where to put him at the beginning, but I think we decided then quite quickly that is definitely an S tier. But for us, it was not God tier. Um, you can kind of block him from doing his drive, because he's going straight in a line most of the time. So if the center, like a Lex Sakuragi or something, is standing in his way, uh, you stop his drive, so he can't like do much stuff afterwards. Um, he has a very strong 3-point game, which makes it like kind of interesting, but it's not like impossible to defend against. So it's in my opinion harder to defend against the Jin than a Fujima. His ultimate is broken though. I mean, his ultimate has like half a second showtime, and then it's just in. So I think his ultimate needs a little bit of a nerf, but everything else seems kind of fair in my opinion for this character. It's a very fair, well balanced leg character in my opinion. Not like those two in the top row. Anything else?
No, I mean you just explained it well.
You wanna
My word.
go for the Rukawa?
Rukawa. Oh yes, Rukawa. I mean, I think he's the player. I mean, the most used player in the game.
Sure.
Because I mean, people like to people like to score, and he has many ways of scoring. He can do the fadeaway, many versions of dunks, layups. He's super fast. Like actually, he's the complete. I mean, a complete player, like in every perspective. Of course, not. I mean, the rebounding and stuff like a center is doing. Of course, he's not doing that. He's a small forward, but basically, actually, all the leg characters are kind of like that. Like they are much better than the normal ones. They have some extras, and also the fake pass. I mean, even Rukawa has a fake pass when he's leveling his ulti. So, but what I like most in this character is I recently noticed that when I played with Hanagata, he's always jamming me. He's so fast in getting me in my fade away. So if you play him well, same as like Sakuragi, it's maybe even impossible to score or to get opens. So
Yeah.
I like him. I haven't used him once. Like I'm not the small forward player, but I like it if he's in my team. For example, sometimes when I play a point guard, you just have to serve him and he makes somehow the points.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I think what makes him so great again, like what you said, like the speed. The speed is like a huge buff. He has like so high speed. As a small forward, that's even almost too high. And his layup, his second layup, is like really hard to defend because you kind of have to be aware of the fadeaway, but also if he goes for the dunk or for the layup, you have to be very close to be able or to be in the blocking range of the second layup as a small forward defender. So it's a really hard combination of two skills. But yes, I think he's also like he's very free to play friendly as well. Of course, he needs like 270 cards, like everyone else almost. But you can get him with Sakuragi and Mitsui, kind of decently. Yes, he's very affordable. Like for the strength he gives, those two, like Sakuragi and Rukawa, for the strength they give, they're really affordable characters. You can build them quite fast. If you're lucky and you have a good event, for example, like the one 2 or 3 months ago, you could build him in like almost one event. So you have to be a bit lucky with the events, but you can also buy him with the crystals. Usually all the dailies or the weeklies and the legend reward, like the season rewards, all give character cards for him. So it's a pretty playable character. Yeah, you got Lex Sakuragi in that event 100%. Yes, that event was really nice. It's sad that they give it like once in a full moon or once in a double moon. It seems they could be a bit more spendable or generous in that sense. But that event was broken. That was really great. Next one is like Uozumi. The sad part is we can't really give a straight opinion on him. I was putting him into S tier. I was defending him there. The sad part is, as I said, we don't see him that often. I think there are like 2-3 at most players who play him. So we on the global server can't really give a good opinion on him. From the talent perspective, he seems like a really good character. So he has like many different versions of going to the basket, and also if he goes to the basket, he can push you away and you have no chance of blocking him. Also, he has like the fake versions. he can box out 2 people. Depending on like how full his meter is. His meter is kind of easy to build because you're usually in the center, so you're close to the basket. So I think he is a very good character. The sad part is we have never really seen a good leg Uozumi. So maybe he's even way higher. I don't know. I would love to play him. I would love to know how he feels like in comparison to like Akagi or like to like Hana. But as I said, how many times have we seen him in our games? Maybe like 10 times or something at most. It's like a super rare character. We usually don't see him, sadly, because I think he is a very good character.
Yeah, I think so. And you can play him in a triangle position. So you put him as a center. With, for example, like on the left, you have someone who can make a fast fadeaway. On the other side is Mitsui or Jin, who's a good shooting guard. And you can just pass him, and he can just move to the other side, or to right, to left. So he's also a secret point guard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true. Let Miyagi go for it.
Like Miyagi, I think he's, from the point guards, the fastest one, who can make your whole game faster. I like his step forward, and then also his many ways of making a layup. But at the same time, he can just stop it and make a pass, and just make then you can, as a small forward, you can just go with a fadeaway and it's open. His steal is pretty decent, like all Miyagi's, but he has also this double jump like the Nobunaga, and he can easily stop the opponent's movement and instantly steal. Yeah, I think, like I said, he's a really dynamic player. Like you can make your own game, like really super fast. But compared to, for example, Maki or Fujima, he's not that. How can I say? You know his movements. The other characters have a bit more in offense perspective, but he deserves to be next tier, in my opinion.
Yeah, from the offensive perspective, I think that's kind of what put him a little bit apart from the others, because the other 2 point guards are kind of like stronger in comparison to their offense, or at least it feels like they're stronger in compared to their offensive skill set.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like it seems pretty obvious, but I mean, there is not everyone, not every leg character we put into the S tier or to the God tier. So we even made a little bit of a switch up, because there are 2 leg characters that are not up there, and also like one that is like Ultra Rukawa is even higher than for us than leg Mitsui. So the A tier, the God tier or the S tier, is if you get them in your team, it's all good. So there's almost no better way to fill the specific position other than these characters. And the A tier is kind of like, if they are on your team, perfectly fine. They can do everything that they need to do in their with their roles. So they're pretty versatile. You can kind of play them in any combo. They're always good teammates. You can kind of rely on them. And starting with Ultra Rukawa, because Ultra Rukawa is not as fast as leg Rukawa, so there's a clear difference in speed. He is very unique in the way that he copies, which makes him kind of like, you need to know the game very well to be able to use him very well, because you're always copying another enemy's like moveset. So it's not like, okay, I can just go in and play my character always the same, but depending on your enemy, you play him differently. So you need to have a really deep knowledge of this game. he has a very quick normal shot in a way. Also his layups, very nice. It's not that easy. It's easier to defend than leg Rukawa, but they're still very well. They're still very good in that sense. And he's of course fast enough to do all the defensive stuff. So there's no real deficit in the defensive game. That's why, kind of because of the high versatility, and we said like we the ground level is that you play your character well. That's why Rukawa is a really, really good character, but you have to play him really well. So it's not like you just go in and press your buttons, but you have to know what you're doing with him. That was kind of like the Rukawa version that we saw. And also he's a really easy character to build, because you can even buy him in the team shop. So easy. Very easy. You can build him very fast. Of course, that was not a reason why he's A tier, but I think that makes him even cooler because you can build him really easily. Leg Mitsui, not the next one on the list. So interesting. Yes, he's very flexible. Yes. Usually I just to put that in. Usually I like playing a strong forward with the block skill set, because I think just a hands up. All like leg Rukawa, ultra Rukawa, ultra Sendoh, normal Sendoh, Nobunaga, they all have a really good block skill. So if you, yeah, I know what you mean with the 2 pages. Like you have two skill sets, like one with the rebound and one with the block set. But I usually like playing with block set because you are already very strong at blocking, and if you even push him further, you can block from a really long distance. So sometimes you block from it feels like half the court away, even though, yeah, you just have a lot of jump, a lot of block, and then your character goes like into the ceiling. Mitsui.
Yay. Mitsui, great shooting guard. He can change the whole match by himself. Like, I mean, I still remember when he once was released. He scored every match. I mean, the people who used him, they had always like 30 points or something. He's scoring, I mean, really well, and he can also jump from left to right, and you just have to follow him. But why he's in the A tier and not S, like for example Jin, is because the more you play against him, the better you'll understand his steps, and when you defend him also with 2 players, it's like an easy block. Then it's like impossible for him also to score, and yeah, so he is for us an A tier. Still great player. I mean, he can change the whole match, but yeah, not S.
Yeah, what kind of also makes him not S in that regard is the block skill of Mitsui versus Jin is like worlds apart. So Mitsui usually can't block, or almost not block, and a Jin can block really well. So that's also kind of a huge difference between those two. It's not a bad character in any way, but he's kind of like, yeah, going in a straight line, or going one step left, one step right, one step right, one step right. And if you kind of get ankle broken, I mean, there's an easy way that your teammate just takes over the defending, and you take his opponent. So you kind of have to switch. If your teammates are not kind of versatile and they are just focused on what they're defending and not looking at the whole map, then he can get really tricky. But if your teammates are kind of playing as well in a decent way, he's decent to block or decent to defend. He's not like the hardest version. Of course, he gets like 1 or 2 open shots in a game maybe, but usually you can defend him very well.
Mm-hmm.
Ultra Sendoh. So as I already said earlier, they are very close to for us. Like Ultra Sendoh, Ultra Rukawa, they do it a little bit differently, but they're really good in the offense. They, as a small forward, kind of see their goal or their point in I'm going for the basket, and Sendoh has also very different ways to score, which are pretty hard to sometimes block or sometimes to defend as a center. So if he goes into it like his shadow mode and goes for the first or the second dunk or the layup, sometimes you don't expect it that much. So he usually gets some free shots. Also, his fadeaway has like kind of 2 different versions. He's also good defensively because he's decently fast. So there's like, when you have a small forward, he also does like everything that you need to do. There's no real like shortage in his abilities. Of course, as we said earlier, he's not in the same league as Leg Rukawa, because Leg Rukawa is just way faster. You have kind of like, yeah, an easier way to get an open shot against a Sendoh than a Leg Rukawa, because he can be on your toes way faster. Ultra Maki.
Ultra Maki, yeah. Another nice point guard. He has it's so cool to use. Yeah, of course, yeah, Sendoh. Yeah, but Maki, he's like, how to say, he has 3 ways to score in the offense. Like one first as a dunk, then he can move to layup, but then there's still the third timing. So it's alone impossible to block him under the rim. But I think it's still easier than Leg Maki to block him, because Leg Maki's timing is a bit different. But he has also a good steal and a nice hook shot, which I like very much. It's really fast. Like when you pass him, he makes just a move to the side and just make the hook shot, and it's often open. So you really have to take care when you defend him. But the most what I like for Ultra Maki is he can also make a pass from all situations. Like when he goes for the when he wants to score, like with a dunk, he can pass back. When he makes the hook shot, he also can make a pass to for example, the shooting guard. It's often an open shot. Yeah, so it's also a complete point guard, but easy to, compared to the other one, easy to defend, to block. I mean, because we know already his moveset. Um, 80 is still 80, so
True.
I think there's not a big difference compared now, like the first 4. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, what I also like about the Ultra Maki is that he enables your centers, if they have, or for example centers, if they have a catch and dunk or a catch and shoot, you can use them from closer in. You can use them like from an easier position. So, for example, I don't know how many know this, but Ultra Maki and Ultra Uozumi, it's cool that they're also directly next to each other in this picture or in this tier list. They have a very nice synergy, because Ultra Uozumi's dunk, his catch dunk, is super fast, and Maki just makes him so much better, because if he gives you the fake layup, you just instantly point, because they have to block then 3 timings. And his dunk is then very nice to use, because he just stands kind of next to you, and he just presses one button, says like, yeah, please pass it to me. So he kind of gives another way to enable your teammates to score better. That's what I also like about him. which is kind
But
of like a unique one.
But like one minus point is like when we compare again both Makis, he needs an ulti for the pass. So
True.
maybe it's like that. We make like first if you start, it has to be in. I mean, when you go to the for the dunk, and you don't have an ulti, you can't pass it. So again, it's easy to block it. So I even recommend players to use the emote, prepare for getting the ball. When you have the ulti, you should use that, and then to let your teammates know when the pass can come.
Good point. Yes. Next part, I already said a little bit about him. Ultra Uozumi, I think he's a very good center. He's, I think, also kind of underused. In this way, we kind of have him as like, if you just look at like, okay, Leg Uozumi is not being played a lot. Leg Hanagata is also kind of a rarer one, but you just have like Leg Akagi, and then it's already kind of Ultra Uozumi. And why is Ultra Uozumi so high? Because one, the catch and dunk is really fast. It's also a two-way dunk. So if you have a defender, you can kind of like switch. But if you see like you're in a good position, you have a very nice way to score. But his ultimate is also really good for rebounding. And what we kind of valued the highest for our center position is like how good can you block, or how good can you defend your basket in that sense. Blocking, I mean, almost all of them can block really well, but the rebounding with his ultimate, where he just boxes you out and pushes you away, it's so good. It's also kind of like what you don't see well enough used. But if you use him really well, I think he's a very good center who can like get you almost anything that you need. And what you need is kind of rebounds, and being able to defend under the basket. So of course he's not the fastest, but what's also like an advantage, because we saw that some, or like depending on the Uozumi, but we saw that used when Hanagata, like Hanagata is played against the Ultra Uozumi, he can jam from a very far distance. And he can jam almost, if he's playing in a good position, he can jam you with your fadeaway. So this makes him all the more useful in that sense, because if you just raise your arms in a sense of like, yeah, I'm jamming the other person, you can do that from very far away. So you don't have to leave your post that much. And you're still in a good position for the rebound afterwards. So I think I would like to see more Ultra Uozumis being used, because I think, or we think, he's a very good character.
Yeah.
You have to go. All right. Thanks for stopping by, and also be sure to post your insights on the YouTube when I post it later. Thanks, man. Very nice words. Kind of you. Have a good sleep. Ultra Mitsui.
Ultra Mitsui. Yeah, I mean, this character can be really good if a really skillful player uses him. So because it's also really hard even to jam him. So he's really flexible, going to the left and right. Just as also the leg Mitsui is, when once he's open, he will score. Because really high 3-pointer shots. Yeah, I mean, it's a really quick character. Also, his MVP shot. So once he's open, it's also, I mean, he can even move far back and get the instant, like the 100% 3-point. But why he's behind Lake Mitsui? Of course, he's a bit more predictable, in my opinion, also. And yeah, also the speed is a bit lower than the Lake Mitsui. But yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, if he's my team, I mean, it's not really a big how to say,
Difference.
difference. Yeah, if I have an Ultra Mitsui or like Mitsui,
Yeah.
it's still a character, and you just have to also know how to serve him.
Yes.
But if there's a really skillful player, he can change the whole match just with this character.
I think so too. He has like a very very interesting skill set. So his sideway jumps, they're not that easy to jam because they're moving very far to the left or the right. So it's kind of like in the beginning even more hard to know like how to jam him well.
Mhm.
And he's fast, like you said. Also, his interception is really nice. He has like a very nice interception skills. So at least in the game, he gets like probably like one or two interceptions. Um, yes, he's a very nice character. I mean, also just maybe to say it again, there's not like huge differences between like these A tier characters. So it's not like okay, Rukawa is here or like Mitsui is five or three four positions ahead of the ultra version that he's that much better. I mean, they are most of the time not that big differences between each position in that sense. So if you have, for example, an A character with a C character, of course, there's a big difference, or an A character with like the last position in the A character tier list, but three or four positions next to each other, it's not like a big difference. I mean, it's also very hard to really say like where you would pinpoint the character on the tier list. Normal Sendoh, I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing that we rank him that high, and he's like the first character which is not like an ultra version or a leg version, and he's in A tier, which makes him very well playable. You see a lot of Sendos. He's easy to build because you can buy him from the team versions or the team games. Um, what makes him so great? Because I am a main Sendo player in that sense. I like his or like the biggest plus point for Sendo is his fast pass. If you're in your point guard position and make a pass, that one is blink speed. So if you see an open teammate and if you're fast, that's the hardest part about it. If you're fast with your fingers, because you always have to switch your positions, and it's a really, in my opinion, hard character to master. If you're fast with your fingers, you can easily get an open pass to that position. And it's so fast, you usually get that pass through. Also, there's no prior motion to how that pass look like. He just throws it. So there's uh, watching from Konnichiwa. Hey, flashback. From Konnichiwa, that's a nice way. So we have a Japanese watcher. Um, so Sendo, I think, like I said, I think his fast pass is just undervalued or is not used that often. There's so many ways to get a good pass to your teammates. Also, if you just walk, for example, next to your teammate and just pass it, no one knows that he suddenly has the ball. So it's so much more unexpected that the ball is somewhere else and you don't even know as a defender where the ball is. Of course, he has a fake layup. He has nice fadeaways. He has catch and pass positions. The biggest, like, if that would not be the case, for what I mean is the that you're dependent on your ultimate. If that would not be the case, I think he would even make an S tier. What I mean with that is you have to ankle break a character and make the dunk in your point guard position in the ultimate. That is like the biggest spike when what Sendoh has. So after you have your ultimate and you ankle break and you're not getting blocked, then you're getting even stronger. That's kind of like a dependency. If you don't have that, you're a lot weaker because you're missing one whole drive motion. So if that wouldn't be the dependency, I personally would rank him in S tier. But that's what makes him like normal Sendoh is God tier if Yokoso is using it. Yeah, I'm not sure. I would still like. I love his block skill. Um, and yeah, I mean it's probably debatable. But we're not talking about the best of the best. That's also what we're kind of like set our eyes to the tier list. We're not setting it to you have to be the very very best, and everyone is playing it to the maximum. Then probably this tier list would be a lot different. Um, but you have to be a very good Sendoh to I think land in a high A tier, and yeah, maybe Yokoso would even like, but Yokoso would also probably have like a very high position on Nobunaga and stuff. So we're talking about a very good character, but not like the best of the best. Hope that makes sense. Ultra Fukuda.
Yeah, the Fukuda. I think when I see him in the rival team, he's the like most hated player because it's really difficult to block him. Same as Lake Hanagata. Once you block him, he can, if he has his ulti on, he can make just a second move. So if you're alone and you block him, he will score still. But the biggest problem is it's it's so difficult to even get the first for the first timing. So I mean, I really hate to play against him, and this makes him really good. And so he's also an A tier. A little minus point is his speed, um, but yeah, with his offense he makes it all good again. So
Yeah.
great character. If people, I mean, he will even get much better if there's a skillful player. We talked about Yokoso. Like once he takes him, it's it's game over. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean when like of course depending on the player who plays it, this
But
list probably
yeah,
changes.
another thing is he's not really frequently used like other characters. So it's also for us sometimes. I mean, you play against him during the match, you know the timings is all good, but the next time you see these characters, maybe 1 week later, and you kind of forgot all the timings again. So that's also yeah,
A plus point.
yeah.
Yes, I think so too. I think that makes him kind of better in a way because he's used that not often. So if you don't know this timing that well, and since you play him like every 15 games, there's one game against an Ultra Fukuda. Yeah, then it's harder. Maki, normal Maki. It's also nice that he's the second character in our list, which is like the normal version. Um, I think a good Maki player is also very nice because I like his steel. I like that you can very well block ultimates with him, like shooting ultimates. For example, if the enemy has a 3 point Mitsui or something, it's way easier to block with your ulti, his ulti. Also, for example, against the like Mitsui or like against the Sendoh, you can, if you know how to do it, steal in the drive, so you can steal a lot. Um, Also, he has like depending, of course, on the enemy or on the defending person, you can kind of score. You can not score easily without your ultimate, but I think you can score pretty well with your ultimate. So it's kind of dependent on how fast or how high your gathering energy is and how well you play with him to always like have like one or two ultimates ready for, like, for example, an ultimate block or an ultimate steal in a drive. But I think in general he's not the greatest in the offense version because he's pretty dependent on the thanks for the follow. He's pretty dependent on on his ultimate for the scoring. But other than that, I think on the defense part, he just would need a little bit more speed, and then he would even be greater. If he would be a bit more faster as a character, that would make him really 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 good. Ultra Takasago.
The Takasago, yeah, our first center of the A tier. No,
No,
second.
second.
Ultra Uozumi, I forgot. Ultra Takasago, yeah. really nice center. I mean, first, if we talk about his offense, because he has like many timings also. Like he can go left, right, and then end with a dunk. Really hard to block. He has, compared to the normal one, we will talk later about it, not special ultimate skill for the rebound, but it not makes his rebound worse. He's still very good in rebounding. But his unique move, I mean, everyone is, I mean, this is the reason people use this character, because of this one move to make the screen, like to make like this offensive foul for the rival. So you can, if you really use that well, you can stop easily big characters like Maki, or anyone who goes for the dunk. But it's not working all the time. So once you use this, maybe you miss the first timing for the block, so it's a bit risky. But once it works, it can be a game changer. But because you get the ball into your hand and just start your own attack. Yeah, a nice center. I mean, he should be used actually more. It's also compared like same as Fukuda or other players, not used so often, but who knows in the future.
Aya Shohoku, thanks for the follow. Why is Nobu? Yeah, I'm probably. Yeah, we probably have to discuss that in a second. Why is Nobu version 1 in the C tier? Yes, we will come to that in a bit. But as we said, that's our kind of like point of view that we see the characters. Next would be the Ultra Jin version. Wait, okay, I wait. Or you wait. Normal Uozumi. Yes, I think normal Uozumi is not the greatest center. I think he is a bit like we will come to that in a second. You will probably see the reason why, or maybe at least understand why we put him that low. Ultra Jin. Ultra Jin is a nice shooting guard. He can push you away. He has a very nice step back. So he has a very far position. Also, his drive to the left and the right are very far. So it's kind of nice if your teammate is playing with you, and just gives you a little bit of a helping hand. But in general, he's like it feels like a one-dimensional character. So it's not like he has a lot of different ways to make it work. So if you defend well, you can kind of play good against him. So it's not like there's a lot of fake pass. There's another like he's also missing a little bit of the block skill from the leg Jin. He's just in my opinion a way worse option than leg Jin. Of course, leg Jin is usually getting banned or getting blocked in a sense, but he's a good shooting guard. But I would prefer like either the Ultra Mitsui or the leg Mitsui, since they're just faster characters. Ultra Jin is not a very fast character, so as a defender, I think he's missing a lot. On the offense, he's super good play or super well playable, but on the defense, he just you have to kind of help him if he's playing against a very fast shooting guard. And that makes it hard because you are kind of giving your position against your defender a little bit of a more room, since you have to help your Jin out. Still playable, but still a very good character. But in my opinion, he like the difference between leg Jin and Ultra Jin is very big.
Yeah, I can agree. The thing is, he has a very strong block, but you have to use the ulti for that. And yeah, otherwise it's really hard to make a good defense with him.
Ultra Fuji.
Ultra Fuji, yeah, very dynamic player. I mean, I think also in the future people will still use this character because it's really fast. He's I think the move which I like most is his quick 3-point shot. So he can also kind of make a dash to the outside and just make quick his 3-pointer. Like I said, really fast. Also nice move forward to the layup. He can also make a second timing for that. So once there's just one center, it's a 50% chance to block him. Why he, of course, like we said at the beginning, A tier is A tier. Like there's maybe not big difference between these characters, but why he's maybe not at the first position like Ultra Rukawa. The more we play against him, or you know his steps, so you can also defend him unless you're not getting the angle break or something like that. So he will not. If you're really good at it, I will just know his moves. He will always get jumped. But his steal is really strong. Yeah, great.
Also,
Okay, point. Yeah.
also the interception, like usually
Yes,
you get also
of
like
course.
twice an interception a day per game. So
He's got a special skill. I mean, in his talent tree for his interceptions. So yeah.
yes. And an interception is always like it's kind of, in my opinion, the meanest thing that can happen in a game, because you're just giving a pass and suddenly the opponent has the ball. So you didn't have to block, you didn't have to get the rebound and jam. So there was nothing between. It just triggers and you get the ball. That's kind of like the strongest chance that can happen in the game. And if that happens like twice a game, that's a big difference maker. Leg Hasegawa. We were not sure about that character. Yeah, how to say it? He's offensively really good. In my opinion, he has very nice skill sets. Also, in the same way that Ultra Fukuda is kind of upgraded, because Leg Hasegawa is not seeing that much of a play. So it's kind of harder to know the timing. Also, his first timing is really fast, so you kind of need to be quick on the trigger as a center. He has, of course, different ways to go to the basket, not just like one way of the dunk, but like many ways. He doesn't have the nice, or the super quick step back jump. If he would have that, in my opinion, that would make him really, really good, because that's one of the best sets for the normal Hasegawa. But in general, what I also love about him is that if you block with him, you kind of get the block or the ball guaranteed, because you're kind of blocking, the ball flies into the air, and you get your ball automatically back, or just jump for it. Which makes it really nice if you got nice block timing. And usually a block is getting like as a floor ball, which makes it like maybe 70-30% that you get the ball afterwards. But he has like a almost guaranteed version in that sense to get the ball afterwards. So if you have a nice block timing, that makes it really, really strong. But I think he would need a little bit more versatility to make him even better, because he doesn't have like, I mean, it's a power forward, of course. He doesn't need to have like the fake stuff, or the fake layup, fake passes, etc. But that would make him also score way higher in this tier list. That just, I mean, if it's just a one-way ticket, yeah, then it's easier to predict when he goes for or what he's doing. Ultra Nobu.
Ultra Nobunaga, yes. The street basketballer is really like a freestyler. So I mean, he's also like really complete play actually. Like he can steal, he can block like a monster, like maybe one of the best blocks in the game. And his offense is like he has many timings again in the layups. He can throw the ball on the board and get the rebound and make a open shot, like a really far fadeaway. I mean, his offense is amazing, defense same, but the point why he's maybe a bit, I mean, the back part of the A tier is you need really good skill. I mean, you have to be good to use this character well.
Really good.
And it's not easy to play him, but once you are able to play him, it's a monster really in every perspective.
Yeah, that's why we kind of said beforehand, like, we're not ranking it if you play him to the utmost best, but you have to play him, like, you have to play him even really well to be in the A tier. If you don't play him really well, and you see that sometimes, I mean, it just feels like a dead character. So you need to play him pretty decently, and then it very well deserves the A spot. And if you get paired against like the best characters, then he can be a pretty pain in the ass to play against.
Mm-hmm.
Also because again he's not that used that often. So like the Ultra Nobunaga is also like a more rarer version. Ultra Akagi, yeah. So our last character in as a center in the A tier, also in my opinion, just a very good package. He has like same like Uozumi, a very fast dunk. You have to also, if you get the rebound, you can almost immediately dunk again, which is almost unblockable. Offensively, he's in my opinion very strong. Defensively, of course, he doesn't have any super specific stuff like you can see the rebound point, but other than that, yeah, I mean, I don't think he's specifically strong in any field, but he's just overall a very basically strong center. You can always rely on him to make your to make the center position work. Also, again, with like a person like Maki or Ultra Maki or something, that works very well.
Nice.
Itou.
Itou, yeah. I mean, for this character, we discussed a lot if he is really an A tier. But in the end, we decided for that because I think he's a great supporter. His jamming is probably the best in the game. He can eliminate a whole shooting guard if he's really following well. And this is actually a big point in the defense if you know that the shooting guard can score. So it's a really great help. But offensive is also really interesting. Great stats for the 3-pointer, even an ulti to make similar to Jin or like Mitsui or even Kogure. Later we'll talk about it. He can make just 100%. I mean, if he's not getting blocked, 100% 3-point. Yeah, I mean, great supportive character. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what makes him a little bit worse than the other characters in general is that his movement and his speed is just wonky. So he's not like a clean character where you just go for the baskets, but he's a very good supportive character. So if you see, for example, a Jin or a Mitsui on the other team, you feel kind of good if your teammate is picking an Itou, because you know they won't score that easily. And that's kind of his role to fulfill. He's just there, supports you, just makes sure the other one doesn't score that easily, and gives you sometimes a free 3-point as well. In general, that's kind of why we decided that's A worthy. And then the last one is we also kind of put him up in the last second, Ultra Miyagi. So that is our last character in the A tier, because he can have very nice impact on the offense as well as in the defense. He can block decently, he can steal decently, he's decently fast. He has very nice fast layups. So if you, for example, pair him with a normal Sendoh, he has like almost unblockable speed regarding like his layup. Then also different versions for the layup. In general, also just a nice character. I mean, I wouldn't mind. I would like to see him more. I think he needs, or he deserves to be played more often. He's a good character, and that's kind of also where we put we had to put or somehow make a cutoff. And the B tier is our kind of smallest portion, other than of course the highest rank. And the B tier, we thought like, yeah, these are not directly A characters, but if played and like in the right position or against the right enemies, they are very good. That's kind of like our B tier. So they have specifically uses and that they do very well. That's what we decided for our B tier. You want to go with Hase?
Yeah, and let's start with Hasegawa. He is actually the king of blocks. So he I mean, if you play him right, I mean, you can block literally everything. I mean, don't even have to be close. He has really huge range for to block. I mean, like we said also at the beginning, once you use him correctly, there's no way to escape from this character. Also offensively, yes, it's like he has just one move. He can just go a step back. But once he's open, I mean, if you play it well and use him, he gets also his open shot. Another plus point is he's also fast. But why, compared, for example, to Leg Sakuragi, he's also great in blocking. He misses some extra steps, but this he makes well. This he makes good with his ulti again, like his volleyball block. So, I mean, I really like this character. If he's in my team, it's good, but you need another scorer. So if you have Hasegawa on your team, it's not enough to score. But for defense, top character.
Also nicely paired with people who can fake pass. So this makes it even stronger, but as you said, it's very one layered. So it's not, this character doesn't have much of a depth. So there's almost just one way. Either you press your arm in the air, say like, yeah, I'm going for the 2-pointer and just make a jump shot, and or you're just playing him and saying like, I'm gonna block that. But there's not like he can't do much outside of this of these or of this one dimension in that sense. Kogure, normal Kogure. Yes, I like when Hunhun plays him. We play that often if our teammate is playing a center and I'm going for the Sendoh and he's going for the Kogure, because he can make a huge distance with his drive. So you can like kind of so he's dependable, or he's depending on your teammates. Usually you can't just go for it and just shoot all the stuff, because he usually has just two ways to score. Either he's jumping to the right or coming back. But if you have people who enable him, who make him useful, then he can be a really good shooting guard, which is like very hard to defend, because he makes like in almost half a second, as soon as like the fake pass from the layup comes, he makes his one step right, and then he makes another step right, and then he's like half the court to the right side. And also it's very nice to see him encourage your team, so he gives you a little bit of boost for the energy department. So Sendoh, for example, and normal Kogure, they go very well together. They have very, very nice synergy. Of course, what's kind of like a bad part about like also what's good for example is the block. He has a very nice block skill. But other than that, of course, there's again like where he falls short. He's not the fastest. He has a nice pickup of the ball, but I mean, we're now nitpicking out the small positive ones. But if you enable him, he can be a really nice shooting guard, or he can, as a strong forward, be a really nice 3-point player.
Yeah.
Also, like maybe one last thing, you have to pick your timing for the ultimate. You can't just press it, because most people have seen that ultimate like hundreds of times. So you can't just, if there are two players in front of you, just press it, because there's a very high probability of you getting blocked, and then it's just useless. So you have to kind of also be free, or at least just one defender in front of you.
And there's a little add-on. He has also a great pick-up range for the floorballs.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fuji, your bread and butter.
Fuji, yeah, my big love. I played with him more than 3,000 games. I really love this character because I'm a big fan of, actually in the whole game, I'm a big fan of doing fake passes, because it's really important. I mean, you can, get the character, the opponent, you can get him he will try to block you, but then you just make the pass, and then your teammate is open, or maybe he can make other moves. So I think this character not the only one who's able to make blocks from all positions. Like, he can make a fadeaway pass, can make a step to the side pass, forward pass. So it's really you can make a really dynamic game. But he is easy. First, he's easy to block. He's not. His shots are not so fast. Like, for example, we talked about the quick shot from Ultra Fujima. It's really fast, and you have to be really close to him to block him, because it's really fast. But normal Fujima is slow in that point. But still, once also when he has his ulti, the green light, he supports his team. He gives in all centers, he gives some boost for the rebounding and block. Small forwards for the shooting accuracies. It's really nice, but he's slow.
Yes. I think in general, it's also a very good character in general. So it's not like if you have a normal Fuji, you're just like, oh man, damn. But usually, if you play him well, he can do what he's designed to do. Also, since he's so fast in his ultimate, you usually get a very nice shot from, for example, a 2-point position, where you just run past everyone and just go to your position. So in that sense, he's very fast, which makes him very usable. Yep.
I completely forgot to talk about his steal. It's also really great in stealing. He can easily stop the rival with his body and then just take the ball out of his hand. So it's also really nice in terms of stealing. Really good.
True. Mayuzumi, also kind of what we said about the B tier. He's kind of also in a more or less niche way, or niche position. So his offensive abilities are mediocre, to be honest. There's also not much depth to it. It's just kind of two ways to score. Either you go for like your jump to the right or jump to the left shot, or you're going for the layup with two different ways. But usually they're not that hard to defend. Either you can jam him for the shot, for the jump shot, or it's a layup which is defendable, or like good to block. But what makes him interesting is that his interception for the fake passes. So this makes him very interesting in certain ways. For example, you see like an ultra Maki, or a normal Sendoh, or an ultra Miyagi or something, who does a lot of or normal Fuji, who does a lot of, I'm jumping and then I'm faking and passing it to the next person. And if you stand correctly and play the character well, you can get nice interceptions and kind of seal the opponent's way to play the game. Because, for example, if your Sendoh can't do or doesn't do that many fake layups, makes it easier to defend him. So your defensive game gets easier, and also to add to him, his defensive ability regarding his block is also insane. His blocking power is really, really high. So from the defensive perspective, he's a really good character. And in certain situations or against certain characters, he's really good. But offensively, he kind of needs support. He's not like Hasegawa. He can't make the game or win the game by itself. They need offensive power as their teammates.
Yeah, but that's the special of our beat here. Like, they are really great supportive characters, but yeah, they need some extra help in scoring.
Yep. Nobunaga. Kind of, why is Nobunaga version 1 in C tier? Yeah. Tell us.
You can cut. I mean, just make the start with. What I want to say about him, he's the king of dunks. Actually, I still remember when he was out, or at the beginning, nobody could block him because his dunk is so. I mean, you need to be good in position. Also, the timing was at the beginning not so easy. Of course, the more you played against him, it was again easier. But I think for the rest, I want to give the show to you because you kind of use him as your characters.
So what I don't like about Nobunaga is his normal speed. You are very dependable on your jumps. They are also not easy to use. So you have to already be looking in the right direction, jumping into the right direction. You're not allowed to over jump, so you have to know the distance where your jump is going perfectly to be able to defend. If you're playing against, for example, like Rukawa, it's very hard to run behind him. If he does a triple drive and goes into the fade, it's very hard to run behind him. All the more if you don't have any charges left. So you're very dependable on how you time or how you use your jump. And if you don't have it ready, you're an easy target to get scored on. Also, his offense, I mean, you've seen him a lot in the beginning, so you kind of know his skill set. His ultimate, I think, is probably the most blocked ultimate in the whole game, which makes it kind of sad because if you run to the post, because it's just a little bracket, so everyone knows if you're kind of in that position, maybe the ultimate is coming, and usually two people are under the basket, and one of them blocks you, it just kind of feels bad because you're just using a special or like the most special skills in the game for like nothing. His fadeaway or his jump back fadeaways or his jump back to the left and the right, they are also not fast enough to make it a really good shot. So they are easily jammable or even blockable if you know what's coming, or if you kind of can predict that he's going away. So offensively, he doesn't have the right skill set. His block is nice. His block jumps are very, very nice. Also, you can even sometimes be lucky and trigger the event that you directly get the ball and catch it and pass it to a teammate. But his speed is a big problem. He doesn't have that high of a control, so you don't get that many ankles to be a free shot. He doesn't have like a fast shot, like a fadeaway or some other way to get distance to the enemy defender. So if you know as an enemy what you're doing, he doesn't get that many open shots or doesn't get that many ways to score. Also defensively, I think he needs a little bit of a speed boost or like a faster way to charge your to charge your jump, so that you have it more often, or like that it regains more often, which makes it kind of hard. I would rather have, like, for example, a Sendoh, a Maki, an Ultra Fujima in my team than a normal Nobunaga, because there is a big gap in my opinion. The other characters, they can score decently well on their own. Nobunaga can be defended very very well, so it's not like you can easily score. It's not like he can defend super well. Um, you can kind of see it in time, like when he has no more charges left. He's like, as I said, a pretty good prey to get scored on because he's super slow afterwards. So this was kind of like the first character that we said we will put on the C tier because he's not having like a special case as the B characters, which get like a big boost through certain niches or through certain scenarios where they get accelerated a lot. But as a standalone character, we don't think he makes the cut into the A tier. And somehow we had to, of course, make a cut, and that's the C tier where we said like, yeah, we would prefer a different character in the specific role. So that's kind of like what we made the C tier, and the D tier is of course even lower, but the C tier was then the cut off from being A tier, where you say like, if that character is on that position, I'm happy and I'm fine. If C tier is on that position as a strong forward, I would like to have an Ultra Rukawa, Ultra Maki, a Sendoh, a Fukuda or something instead of the normal Nobunaga. He just doesn't have the highest offensive and defensive abilities to be able to play the game well in the highest rank.
Well
If you're still here, I hope that that answers the question. If not, I hope you look it afterwards up. Kogure.
Yeah, when I see this, I just get sad because I'm a Kogure fan, and I had so much hopes when I heard about that he will get a like version. But like I said, I'm sad because his movements are predictable. I mean, I mean, when he is open, he will score his 3 pointers really well. But I mean, how to explain? When he makes his move to the right, he can also instantly go to the left again. But it's really easy to block or also jam or even make the body stop. And then maybe he can even fall down and lose the ball, or you can easily steal him. But what makes him good is he can really pass fast. He supports his team. His ulti. He gets people. The teammates will get some. I mean, they can score yet better. Also get a defensive boost, better blocking range. But in total, he is. I mean, the normal Kogure will be used more often than the legendary version.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's just he doesn't bring that much to the table, which makes him kind of like, yeah, it's a supportive character. When he's open, he scores, but that doesn't make him A tier or B tier in that sense. Sadly, now the Sakuragis come. Probably you can also give more insight on why we score them.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like all the Sakuragis, they're one of the best rebounders. I mean, all of them get great rebounds. Now, when we're talking about the long hair Sakuragi, sorry, he is in defense really great. I mean, he is nice rebound, really nice floor ball. I mean, he can jump and gets. When, for example, when your teammates gets blocked, he's close. He can get instantly the floor ball. So this is like one of his big plus points. But yeah, what is negative on him? He can't score. Like, of course, he has a quick layup, but if people knows that, they easily block it. So just doing the defense is not enough to be in a higher tier. Because of that, he's C. Although I use him pretty often, but for that you need also good teammates who score.
Yes, I think that in general makes it like
Mhm.
different because I mean, yes, he has nice jump and nice rebound, but for example, it's always hard to play against the center who's like more on the strength level because that's kind of where the Sakuragis fall off. But what makes the both normal and or long hair and ultra so way worse than the leg Sakuragi is also just the speed and the offensive versions. So the leg Sakuragi just has way more on the plate or on the offensive patterns where you can use him and also make him like a nice triangle or he runs fast and is easily jamming the other shooting. But these two, yes, he has the whatever it's called where he just pushes his hands in the around. But I mean, to get from A to B, that's hard. And then the short haired version, yeah, I mean it's in a different way, but it's on the same level as strength as we said. He has a little bit more on the offensive part in that sense, where he has like kind of this catch pass. Um, but if you just compare them, you would always go for the leg one. If you see them, I would rather have, for example, one of the ultra Uozumis, Takasago or Akagi, rather than one of them. They just they just feel less powerful regarding like their general stats. They can do not that many different things. Also regarding like the Rukawa, I mean, why we put the normal Rukawa there is also due to the fact that he's not fast. Um, he doesn't have that many different ways of scoring. Yes, he can ankle break you and then do the fast backward dunk, but that's all stuff that we have seen already like a lot of the time. So that's kind of why the normal versions are also lower because you see them or you have seen them more often in general. So it's easier to know what happens. They don't have that many different ways of attacking, of defending. For example, Rukawa isn't that great in the defensive part, and on the offensive part, I mean, he's good, he's decent, um, but you can kind of know what he's doing and be able to block or jam him. So there's no fancy fadeaways, no fancy dives like the leg version, or no fancy quick shots and stealing the enemy abilities like the ultra version. I would rather have any of those two rather than the noble version. There's a big gap between them.
Yep.
Noble Takasago.
Oh, Takasago, yeah, the first center of this tier. Um, First, this his positive, I mean, his good points. He's he's really strong and really good in rebounding because also he gets an extra skill with his ultimate. That, I mean, it's like if you use it correctly, again, you will have 100% the rebound. Also, he sometimes he also give it directly, and you also get some extra boosts for your teammates together with this pass. He has again like the ultra version also one unique move, his best position move to get the interception. So I mean I don't know how accurate this, how I mean the percentage of this, but I mean at least once it happens and it can also change the game. Um, Also, his screen is really good. So when you play with a shooting guard, he can help a lot. Also, I think it was also like that. If he screens, he can also give a bonus for the shooting guard. So you can use it as a good combination. But and the biggest minus point, he's slow.
Yes.
I mean, he's really slow. Yeah.
And his offense, of course, is also not like the greatest. I mean, it's okay, but it's not something to look forward to. But yeah, I like his ultimate a lot. I think his ultimate is pretty cool. I like that he secures you kind of like a rebound that way. So also just to make it clear that the four characters here, the four centers, we were not sure how to rate them in any way. So that was kind of more or less a gut feeling where we said like, yeah, Takasago brings the most defensive parts to the table, and a little bit of the uniqueness for his besto position, and his ultimate where he gets like a rebound. Um, but that's kind of what we decided on, that we say this is more valuable than the other ones. For the normal Hanagata, I mean, he has some offensive options. He has the fadeaways are pretty nice. He's a decently fast center. His rebounding and jumps are pretty nice. Yeah, but I mean, you have seen him a lot. It's not like he does anything fancy. There's like two different ways. Either he goes for the passes, where he just raises his hand and passes the ball further, or he goes to the dunk with two, or kind of like a delayed version, three different timings. But other than that, the fadeaways, yeah, I mean, they're okay, but they're also nothing fancy, nothing far, because usually, of course, as a center, you're not playing very far away, so you're not at the 3-point line where you're throwing the 2-point baskets. So in general, there's a strong forward or something else who can jam or block that skill. In comparison, for example, to the leg Hanagata, which goes almost over the 3-point line as a fadeaway. That makes so much distance and is hard to even as a strong forward defend it. But for a strong forward to defend the normal Hanagata's fadeaways, that's definitely doable, and it's kind of your job as a strong forward. And then of course he has the fake or the layup where he goes for the second position in that sense, the underhanded versions. Yes, but they're all having a nice block frame, so it's not like it's very hard to block against.
Yeah, the next one is I forgot the name. Nango.
Nango.
Wait, what was?
Yeah, Nango.
Yes, Nango. I mean, he has 3 great moves. His block is maybe also, I mean, for a center, if you use it correctly, maybe one of the best, because okay, it's of course the best is now maybe Akagi, but he has also he can get the ball also in his hand if you use it correctly, and this is a big bonus. That, for example, I mean, you can save your team to fight for the. I mean, they don't have to fight for the floor. Another thing is his ulti. I like it. It's similar to Ultra Sakuragi. So it's like a tip in dunk. You can use it really in combination with a shooting guard. Like, let him first shoot in interference and get the rebound and make even 2 points. Another thing is his move, like when he can ask for the ball and then directly quick pass back to another teammate. It's also a kind of point guarding. But yeah, he has less offensive skills compared to Hanagata. But yeah, you can use him, but there are much better centers, like from the A tier, S tier.
Yeah. And the Ultra Hanagata, we also didn't exactly know where to put him. Mainly because we have not seen him that often, or at least like I have seen the Takasago, Hanagata, Nango, etc. way more often than the Ultra Hanagata. And he also feels way too one-dimensional, so he doesn't have many specific like the neck Hanagata or something, like where he has a huge fadeaway. He usually goes for dunk stuff, and they are also pretty decent regarding like how to block them. Yeah, regarding those four, regarding the offensive and the defensive package, he just seems like he falls a little bit short in that sense. Still okay to play, but nothing fancy in my opinion.
Also the speed, which is really low.
Yeah, the speed is in general for all those characters kind of low. Other than the normal Hana, but in general, they are all those four characters are not the fastest. Now we go to the kind of last tier, because I don't think we will talk about the don't use tier, because just don't use them. They're all characters which have like almost no reason to be played. But the D tier is the last tier that we said, like, they are characters which can be played, which have specific, maybe sometimes uses, but they're also most of the time very one-dimensional characters and just fall short in all the other aspects. But you are playing sometimes Ura, so go for it.
Yeah, actually my heart is bleeding when when I put the order for the D tier, because I used to play him a lot, but I mean, in the future many other characters came and they are just better than him, and he's actually playing as a center, but I can't say that he is good as a alone. I mean, you can't play him just alone as a center. He's more like a supporting center, but for that he has two less other skills, so you kind of waste a character who could score maybe better or block better. He has no blocking skill. Rebound actually okay, but not Sakuragi level. He has a floorball, floorball skill, like a pickup skill.
Yeah, the pickup.
It's good, but even Kogure is doing it better. So his mid shots, he can also make a fadeaway, but it's not same as normal Hanagata, or so easy to jam. Yeah.
Yeah, and usually you just need to jam them. You don't have to block a center with their fadeaway shots. You just have to jam them, because usually you have the timing for your center then to get the rebound instead of them getting the rebound. So if, for example, the normal Hanagata or Oda or something makes the fadeaway, usually your center is probably in a better position to get the rebound than the enemy. That's different, just to make that sure, that's different for Leg Hanagata. Leg Hanagata just runs across the whole map and gets either the dunk in or the another way. So Leg Hanagata is just that much faster to be able to go into the fadeaway and still go for the rebound. The other characters, they just, if you go for the shot, you have to kind of be open to make it a good shot. Otherwise, you're kind of wasting a scoring chance. Godai. Godai is kind of like, I think he's an interesting character. I like his ultimate, but yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's very one-dimensional, that character. He just has like, I ankle break you, and then I go for the shot. Or there's nothing else. I just pass the ball, and I'm kind of useless on the team. So there's not much on the defensive part. He's not the fastest. He doesn't have good blocking. There's not much stealing. It's decent stealing, but not much. But the biggest part is if you kind of play him decently and the teammates use you well, you can score with him. But also you have to be matched against like someone who's easily to ankle break. Also, you kind of, if there's a second player, so he doesn't have like any fake passes or something. If you are into the shot and fake away and ankle break and go into the 3-point shot, you're going for it. So you kind of know that the enemy will do it. You kind of know that the Godai is probably going for that skill set, and then you can easily kind of defend him as well.
Nice. Yeah. And it's the same for the Miyamasu. You also know, I mean, his moves are predictable. I mean, he's a shooting guard. Once he's open, he will score for 90% or even better. But his moves are like really predictable. I mean, he can make kind of fake and then go left or right. You just have to stand patiently next to him or in front of him, and then it's really difficult for him to score. But you can use him also a bit like a point guard, like make the fake for the shot, but then pass to left, right. Maybe this is a good way to use him. Also, his jamming is not bad, but Itou, for example, is much better. He's a shooting guard, but there are so many better options. Yeah, so I would say
Yeah.
don't use him.
Yeah. Mitsui normal. I mean, he's also a very one-dimensional character. He doesn't have any steal skills, any block skills. He's just shooting guard where if he's in his ultimate, he has very high res and very nice 3 points, but you can still defend him. He just has like three different kind of ways where you know what he does. He's going left, he's going right. He goes into the normal fast version or into the slow fadeaway version. So you have to first get him to the ultimate, otherwise he's completely useless. And otherwise, when you're in your ultimate, you can kind of shoot, but you're also super dependent on you're not getting blocked and your teammate is getting the rebound. So yeah, I mean, he's too old to hold up with the other characters, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. And the same also for Jin. Actually, sounds really ironical. Like the character with the maybe highest stats for the 3 pointers is in the D tier, but when he is as I mean the rival team, I'm happy because you can block him easily. So it's really hard to use him. I mean, in matches. I mean, just for example, people use him for the ulti, but it's too less. I mean, just for his ultimate, you waste a character, you waste a spot. So yeah, I wouldn't really use him anymore.
Yes, that's a very well way to put it. If you see a D tier player in the enemy team, you're happy. That's kind of like what D tier is and lower. D tier is if I see a normal Jin, I know I can defend him so well. He won't be able to have much fun in the game, and he won't bring other than scoring. He won't bring anything else to the team. There is super slow, no real blocking. He doesn't have any fakes, so if he goes into the drives, you know he even either shoots on one or on two. So yeah, I'm happy if one of the D tier characters is in the enemy team because I know they have one slot with a less powerful character. Same for Uozumi, sadly. I'm also answering now the sadly asked question for like 1 hour probably ago. Why is Uozumi in D tier? He's slow as hell. He is fucking slow. Um, Other than that, yes, he has a nice blocking, but I mean every other center usually in the higher tiers also has decent blocking. And regarding the rebound skills, he's okay regarding the rebound, but also nothing special. His ultimate version is way better in the rebounding department. So there's almost nothing that comes forward to normal Uozumi other than the ultimate. But usually you know how to play around it. So you can't just say like, yeah, the ultimate makes him that much better because you're getting a block and even having the ball in the hand. But usually if it's a 3-point person, you use your 3-point ultimate in a way that he can't use his. And if it's a 2-point ability, you usually also just like there's some nice ultimates that you can grab. For example, like Sendoh's ultimate that you can easily grab, or Nobunaga's ultimate that you can easily block. But usually the newer characters don't have an ultimate that you can ultimate against. Because look at the upper tiers. They don't have ultimates other than like Hanagata. Like Hanagata is also really nice to play against. But only for the ultimate. If he goes into the fadeaway, there's no way you can jam him or block him in any way. But the like Hanagata, for example, his when he has his ultimate and uses it for the dunk, you can ultimate that and get the ball directly. But normally you don't play it against an Uozumi that way. You just go for the fadeaways and easily score that way. So Uozumi just, I don't think he cuts in it anyway. He's not that useless as Akagi in the normal one, but I would prefer, or like if I'm playing Akagi, for example, or he plays Hanagata and we're playing against a normal Uozumi, I am feeling super confident that we will win this game.
Yeah. Then with the next one, I make it quick. Takano. Slow. He can get open because people not know his moves well. But once he made it, the second one will be, I mean, jammed for sure because it's really predictable. But why? I mean, he could even come to the don't use here, but maybe his scoring puts him a bit high. But he's so slow, really hard to defend. You can't even catch. For example, just imagine playing against like Rukawa. He can make even a picnic like and still he can't reach him. So yeah.
He just goes for the T. Okay, now I'm scoring. Yeah. I think that's one of the biggest parts regarding every character in D part. Every character in D is not fast, other than maybe like Naito and Miyagi, but every other character is super slow in that department. And slow characters just don't hold up against the faster characters because you just can't defend them anymore. Ikegami, I think we can also make it maybe quicker. Has a nice jam. If he would be faster, and maybe the leg version, if he ever comes out in the soon future, because we already saw some stuff. The leg Ikegami, if he's faster, and for example has a dash or something like a real good dash, or just like a normal speed boost, which makes him as fast as, for example, like the Fujima stuff, then it could be very interesting. But this version is just offensively he has nothing to give, and defensively, yes, he has a nice jam and he can maybe steal. Yeah, but please don't use him that often.
Yeah, next one is normal Fukuda. Actually, he has cool layup moves, but it's like really there's really no situation you defend him alone, because there's first the defender who is directly defending him, and then there's also the center. So like if one jumps for one and the other one gets 100% nearly the second, so it's really hard for him, I mean, recently to score. I mean, these days, at the beginning it was really, I mean, when he came first out, he just scored everything, but now people know it. And yeah, and he need to score also to get faster. So he has a skill. When he scores, he can get a bit faster. But the problem is he can't score, and yeah, in the end he will stay slow, and yeah, not really big use cases in a match. Yeah.
Yeah, and as a slow character, as we said, you can't defend well, and if you can't defend well, you're losing the match. In the highest tier, you need to be able to jam the opponents or block them. But if you can't do that, you're just kind of useless on your role. And Naito, yes, he has you get the first ball. You get the first ball. That's kind of nice. And he has a very fast dunk. But if you have seen it once or twice after like a long time, you know again when the timing is, and then he's kind of useless. I mean, he's fast regarding like, yeah, you can kind of jam or block the enemy, but offensively he doesn't give anything. He doesn't have that many defensive stuffs. There's so many better options, but usually you also don't see him, so that's kind of good.
And then we have the last one is normal Miyagi. He can work actually but of course he's a point guard. He can also do his job as a point guard. He can go forward, make the step forward, and pass to the character he wants. I mean, to the teammate he wants. But that's it. I mean, if he tries to score, he has layup move. It's easy to block. So basically, he can just serve his teammates and nothing else. And of course, he steal. But it's interception, so it's no guarantee that you get it.
Yeah, nothing much to add, I think. And also, as I said, like D tier, they just don't have much of anything. So either if in their specific role they are very one-dimensional, very easy to block, don't have any kind of specific skill sets. Yeah, I mean everything that's in kind of like in C or D, like in don't use or D tier, you are rather happy that if that's in the enemy team than on your own team. C tier is, yeah, they're playable, but there are also better versions of them. A tier, everything in A tier or higher is usable, is playable. Go for it, try to learn the characters and make the best use of them. And I think that kind of wraps it up. I think that will probably be like a 2-hour video.